So where does that leave us then? So we've still got Sigilef's Knives, which is to get inside Karas Galadhon. We've got Akador's Fate, which again is to get inside the city. Barthasay, we need to go back to Gathalun. The epilogue, Greyhammers, we need to still kill orcs bloody everywhere. What's the Braeglin one? To do the free-man instances. So what we do now then is let's head back to Gathalun and get that eggshells one out of the way. And then we can worry about killing more orcs, goblins and urks elsewhere in Middle-earth. And it is literally going to be a road trip. So if you're one of those people who did Volume 1 till the end of the epic story,
how can I be of service?
Then you'll appreciate how the later books of the Volume 1 story just sent you like back and forth to the opposite corners of Eriador, like back in the older low level areas. And this is kind of like a throwback to that days, except you literally have to do a world tour of practically every region in the game at the time Mirkwood was released to kill a bloody orc. And some are a bit easier than others anyway. And I really do mean every region. So, if we mount up, we need to head back over then to the northern reaches and go in Gathalun. Now we need to collect 6 eggshells, and I think it's just going to be a case of each worm should drop an eggshell. I don't think we can do this without doing combat, so we're probably going to have to pull one of the rooms of worms and pray we get enough. And if not, we might have to do a second room pull, but whether I actually fight everyone in the room or just quickly nick one kill and then run for my life, that's probably about an equal opportunity. So where's the cave? There it is. So yeah, these epilogues do take a bit of a while to do, especially once you factor in the instance content as well. But we only have to do 2 instances to finish it off. Any one of the Freemans, and then Circle. So, right. Doesn't really matter which way we go. I'm going east. Gonna have to kill one of these guards just because he's in the way. There's a patrolling guy coming along from the right hand side as well. Bonk. Right. So this is where it's going to get interesting. What have we got? We've got 5 small worms and 1 biggie. So again, we're going to go back on our previous tactic of Essay of Fire into Scathing Mockery, Essence of Flame with some extra AoE, and then drop the stone, because then the stone should not really get aggro. Lag spike, we don't want a lag spike. Lag spike will be suicide in here right now. I don't know what stunned him. I'm not going to complain. Oh, hello, what have I hit? Now, in typical fashion, I've only got 5 eggshells. I think they only come from the small ones then. In which case we need to quickly nick a small guy, burst its face off, and then we can run for our lives. Yeah, that'll do. Right, run. That's the 6 we need. The newly hatched worm defeated the volcanic runestone. Alas, my poor volcano. Okay, so we can nip outside. That sets us out of combat. We need to go speak to Balthelion back at Osgalad.
You have returned with the ingredients, and so quickly.
You've returned with the ingredients I seek, and so quickly. I did not expect you to return with such haste, but you have my thanks for doing so. When crumbled into a fine powder, the eggshells will be used as part of an unguent that can shield the bearer from the effects of fire. The slime provides the base for a soothing salve that can mitigate the effects of the poison. The wine? It is thirsty for work, the brewing of potions and the crafting of salves. You have my thanks, said Laniel, and those of the elves who will be burned or poisoned as the campaign in Mirkwood continues. So finish that one. And that takes us down to those last 5. So, next up, I suppose we might as well do the Greyhammer World Tour then. So we need to go to Aragon. So let's hop over there. Okay, so welcome back, and we're now in Aragon. Now, any orc, goblin or uruk should count. So I've gone to Echad Aragon, which is in the centre bit, and then gone southwest down to Barad Morlas, which is populated by half-orcs, and they definitely don't count. However, Shatogar here should count because he is an uruk. So if we quickly murder him. There we go. For the Grey Hammers! So that's him done. So next up we've got the Troll Shores and the Misty Mountains. So let's go do the Misty Mountains next then. Okay, so we're now in the Misty Mountains then. So I've taken a horse over to Heron Bog in the eastern side of town. And I went north to the North High Pass, and I'm outside the Goblin camp, which is just kind of outside Goblin Town. And any of these guys will count. So this unlucky chappy here. For the Grey Hammers! So next up we've got the Troll Shores. So we're going to have to go to the last bridge for that one. Okay, so we're back once again in the Troll Shores, and this time we actually have a icon on the map saying where we can find some orcs, because originally there weren't any to be found here. So they had to like artificially stick in a few goblins just east of the last bridge. And also as well, there's a quest link up in here just because they also added some caves later as part of the Volume 3 epic story, where there's going to be loads of orcs and stuff, but we'll get around to exploring that cave not too far in the future actually, because we'll need to start Volume 3 very soon. So we'll be able to see what's in that cave. But for now, there is a goblin raider, so we can quickly murder him. For the Grey Hammers! So next up we've got the Lone Lands, Breen and the North Downs. So we might as well just head across the last bridge and kill a goblin over that way. Okay, so we're in the Lone Lands then. I've literally just gone across the bridge. I've happened to found an orc, but worst case, if you need to find them, there's loads down at Minas Area. There's some at the camps near the Weather Hills up in the northwest. There should be some around Enid, I think, as well, and then down at the bottom. They're pretty much abundant, really. You shouldn't have too much trouble finding these guys. So we'll quickly murder him. Oh, one shot, nice. For the Grey Hammers! So next up, it's Breeland. Okay, so we're in Breen now, and I am in the northwestern part of the Northern Bree Fields, where there's a massive orc camp, and it's the easiest place to do this one. So there we go, bang, he's dead. And the only reason I've gone to this particular camp in the Breelands is because we need to go to the North Downs next, and this is obviously very close to Trestlebridge, so I can just ride up the road. But I mean, I think there's orcs down in Andrath. There's obviously the goblins in the Midgewater Marshes. There's some orc camps on the eastern side there as well. I think there's an orc camp up here in the eastern Bree Fields, as well as the Weather Hills and Nenhan and that. So there's plenty of orcs around. So next up, North Downs. Okay, so in the North Downs then, we literally just need to come out of Trestlebridge down in the bottom here, turn right, and there's like an orc camp right in front of us. And we can just murder one of these guys. For the Grey Hammers! So that unlocks the next bit, and I've just one-shot a bird as well. So next up we've got Evandim, Forakel and Angmar. So let's do Angmar next. Okay, so we're in Angmar now then, and I've gone to Gabal Shatter in the southeast. So I took a horse from Esteldin up to Gathforth in the northeast, and then swift travelled back down to Gabal Shatter because that's the quickest way to get here. Now at the camp of Ongbishuk, there's plenty of orcs around, and there's someone else killing stuff as well. So I just need one of these guys. There we go, for the Grey Hammers. So next up we need Evandim and Thorokel, so let's go to Evandim next then. Okay, so in Evandim then, the best place to go here is to go to Ostforod in the northeast, and then just southeast of that there's the ruins of Tam Andalaf, and there's plenty of goblins in this place. So we can murder one of these. For the Grey Hammers! So next up we're going to go to Thorokel. Okay, in Thorokel then, we are down in the very southeast near the first encampment, Kalpakota, and just on the western bank there's a little red circle there, which denotes there's a few goblins around, stood by the lake, a couple of shivering goblins. So we're going to warm them up with our fire skills. For the Grey Hammers! So next up we've got two places we can go, the Shire and Lothlorien, so let's go to the Shire next then. Okay, so in the Shire then, I'm in the northern parts, in the Greenfields. There's a massive goblin camp on the east side and there's a massive goblin camp on the west side. The easiest way to get here though is actually to come via Evandim. So if you're able to get into either Ostforod or Tenudir, either from coming from Esteldin, Westbury, those kind of places, then go down to Oakbarton, which is this town in the southern bit, and then just literally just ride south, you end up in the Greenfields. Because otherwise, if you're coming from elsewhere in the Shire, you can't really get to Brockenboings very easily. There's loads of like slow horses in that general direction. But there's plenty of goblins here, so we can just murder any of these guys. For the Grey Hammers! So last up, we need to kill something in Lothlorien. So let's go over there next then. Okay, so in Lothlorien then, we're inside Thorin's Gate, and literally on the west hand side where the mine is, there's loads of goblins just wandering around. So you can murder these guys. The Grey Hammers! There we go, and now we can talk to Tandri Greyhammer at Thorin's Hall. I'm just going to mythicoin it, sod it. I'm only outside the bloody halls, but for the interest of expediency. So he is in the main hall on the slightly eastern side, just before you go to the forges.
What in the name of all the dwarves has my son had you do?
What in the name of all the dwarves has my son had you do? Yeah, I know, I feel exactly the same. Can you give him a good spanking for me? This has not been fun. Travelling to all the regions in which a Greyhammer has been wronged and slaying a single orc in each? I cannot believe you humoured him far, said Laniel. Does a runekeeper such as you have nothing more pressing to do than this? If my son Luth and his brothers spend less time dreaming up ways to tell folk of their grievances with the orcs, and more time mining and working, perhaps we would have found some precious gemstones by now. Take this for your effort, Atlaniel. I will speak to Luth myself. It is high time he began doing something more productive with the time he currently spends complaining to strangers about his lot in life. So finish that one. But I don't have enough room in my bags to put something in, so let's just throw that in the way. There we go. So that leaves us with 4 then. So 2 of them are the instances, and the other 2 are inside Carascaladon, so we're going to stop there next then. Okay, so we're inside Lothlorien now then, and we've just come inside the main entrance. We're going around the left-hand path, and we're going to climb up this ladder here to speak to one of the elves. And is it this lady over here? There we go. There's Nira left, so she's the wife of Ashador.
I know already why you have come.
I know already why you have come, Atlaniel. Lady Galadriel visited me several days ago at nightfall to bring me the sad tidings that Ashador would not return from Mirkwood. I think I already knew it, Atlaniel, even before the lady came to see me. I cannot explain it. If you have unanswered questions, please pay Lady Galadriel a visit. You will find her at the House of Celeborn here in Carascaladon. So she's going to send us up to Galadriel, and I need to speak to Celeborn anyway, so we hop back downstairs. We basically need to go to the big tree in the middle of Lothlorien, if you remember where we go. So northwards, and we just need to climb this hill to the right here. And we're going all the way up there. So if we just cross over the river, we're going to have to jump up there and then climb up the roots of the tree, up the pathway. So around here, now we can cheat, we can climb that, or we can just come up this bit. Oh, my horse nearly didn't make it there. So up we go, and these will be the last two epilogue quests that we can actually do, because the last two require us to do the instances. So try not to fall off, because it's pretty much an instant death at this height. Let's speak to Galadriel first then.
I know what it is you wish to ask.
You have come to ask me something about Ashador's fate, Galadriel. I know what it is you will ask. Galadriel turns to face you, and you see that her face is a mask of sorrow. Ashador begged leave of Celeborn to accompany the Hidden Guard on its mission to Dol Guldur, and my husband denied his petition. Only at my word did Celeborn relent, and Ashador was permitted to begin the errand that would end with his death. You know that my mirror shows me many things. Can I have known where this road might lead to Ashador? I did know, and it is with such knowledge that I spoke on his behalf. Do you think me cruel? Would it have been crueler still to prevent Ashador from seeking his vengeance? It may have been, or it may not have been. I am not to be the judge of it, and do not wish to make excuses. I wanted to explain, and I thank you for listening, Daniel. The waters of my mirror are changeable and changing, and many things can be seen or not seen. So that's that one. And if we speak to Celeborn about Sigilev's knives.
It saddens me to know that Sigileth will not return to this land she loved.
It saddens me to know that Sigileth of the Hidden Guard will not return to this land she loved. She knew the danger she faced, and wrote the tale of her victories on the hides of the orcs with her beloved knives. Celeborn sighs and carefully studies Langigul and Egnasigil. It was the desire of Sigileth to give me these knives, and I do not wish to gainsay that desire. But so too does it grieve me that they will no longer strike fear into the hearts of her foes, remaining as they would within Caras Galadhon. I propose then a compromise. I will retain one of the knives, and its brother I give to you, to do with as you will. Sell as vendor trash! Yay! So we've got two knives. I think they have different cosmetics as well, so that one's actually not too bad actually. It's like a gold embossed one. Oh look, one's red. And one's blue, I think. Move this out of the way. So Agnes is red. Oh, it's a slightly different design on them then. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Red or blue? What do we fancy? Let's go red. So that completes that one. So that leaves us with two things that we have to do. We've done 10, we've got 2 to go. The last 2 involve us doing one of the instances and Samafgul. So we're going to leave those till next time when we do the instance cluster. We'll automatically complete those while we're doing the other instance quests. The majority of which are bestowed inside the instances themselves, so they are repeatable each time we do the instances. There's nothing to collect this time besides the 2 that we got from Helafir back in the day. So that's all for now then. So next time we're going to do the Mirkwood instances, and then it's going to be off to a new region and starting a new epic story. So until then, see you guys later.